My name is Sarah Bennett and I'm 30 years old. 3 weeks ago, my own mother looked me straight in the eye at her fancy party and called me a worthless failure. My stepfather James laughed and said, "We don't need your garbage gift. Leave now." But inside that little box I brought was something that would change everything. And when I finally showed them what it was, my phone started ringing non-stop. But you know what? Some calls don't deserve to be answered. Before I tell you what happened, hit that like button if this sounds crazy. And comment where you're watching from. Now let me take you back to where it all started. I was 13 when my dad, Michael Bennett, died in a car crash. He wasn't rich. He fixed cars for a living. But every Friday we got pizza together. Those were the best nights. One Wednesday he hugged me before work and said, "This weekend we'll check out that science camp." Those were his last words to me. A drunk driver hit his truck that afternoon. They said he died instantly. At the funeral, I watched Mom shake everyone's hands. I thought we'd cry together. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, she packed all of Dad's things in boxes and threw them away. When I asked to keep his watch, she said no. She said we had to move forward. Like Dad was just an old chapter she wanted to close. What I didn't know, Mom had already met someone new. A man named James Crawford. Later, I found out they'd been talking for months before Dad died. She was already planning her new life while Dad was still alive. The insurance company gave Mom $175,000. She told me we'd use it wisely. Another lie. 16 months later, I stood in James's house holding one small bag. Mom had married him at City Hall. Didn't invite me. Said it wasn't important. His house had 5 bedrooms. His son Tyler, who was 19, got the biggest bedroom with his own bathroom. I got the basement, a cold, dark room with one tiny window. Mom said it was temporary. Never changed. Tyler drove a red sports car his dad bought him. James paid for his college. Meanwhile, I took 3 buses to my new school. When I turned 16, I asked Mom about college money. She was sitting with James at the kitchen table. "Sarah, the insurance money is for this family. Tyler needs support. You're almost an adult. Learn to stand on your own." James looked at me with cold eyes. "This house doesn't support lazy people. Want something? Work for it." I looked at Mom, waiting for her to defend me. She just nodded and drank her coffee. That night, I cried on my basement floor. I realized my own mother didn't love me anymore. I was just baggage from her old life. But they made one mistake. They thought I'd disappear quietly. Instead, I decided to prove them wrong. 3 days after my 17th birthday, James told me I had to leave when I turned 18. Mom said nothing. I had 6 months to figure out how to survive with no money and no help. I worked every job I could find. Cleaned houses, walked dogs, babysat until midnight. But it wasn't enough. Then one night my phone rang. Unknown number. "Sarah, this is Aunt Rebecca. Your Dad's sister." I hadn't heard from Dad's family since the funeral. Mom had cut them all off. Aunt Rebecca said Dad had left me something important. That Saturday, I lied to Mom and took a train to Aunt Rebecca's house. She looked so much like Dad. We sat down and she brought out a metal box. "Your father gave this to me 7 years ago. He made me promise to give it to you when you needed it." Inside was a bank book with my name on it. Dad had been saving for me since I was born. $20 here, 50 there. The last number made my hands shake. $52,000. "Your dad knew your mom wasn't good with money," Aunt Rebecca said softly. "He wanted you to have a real chance." Under the bank book was a letter in Dad's handwriting. "My sweet Sarah girl. If you're reading this, I'm not there anymore. You are smart. You are strong. You are loved. This money is yours. Use it to build the life you deserve. Love forever, Dad." I cried so hard I couldn't see. For the first time since Dad died, I felt loved. When I got home, Mom was waiting. "Where were you really?" "I went to see Aunt Rebecca." Her face went white. James appeared. We told you not to contact those people. They're my family, I said. This is your family now, James said. And you follow our rules. Actually, in 3 months I won't be here. You already told me to leave. I walked past them to my basement room and locked the door. 3 months. Then I'd be free. The day I turned 18, I packed and called a taxi. Mom didn't say goodbye. James looked happy. I moved into a tiny apartment near college. Using Dad's money, I paid for school. I studied business and design. Worked at a coffee shop. Cheap food. But I was happy. Really happy. 4 years later, I graduated with top grades. I got hired at a marketing firm. I worked hard. Stayed late. Learned everything. 2 years later, I was promoted to manager. By 26, I'd started my own business. A marketing company helping small businesses grow online. First year I made $80,000. Second year $200,000. By year 3 I had 8 employees. I bought my own house. Traveled the world. Through it all I kept my success quiet. No social media. No bragging. I didn't want certain people finding out. Aunt Rebecca was the only one who knew. She became like a real mother. Then one Tuesday I got an envelope. An invitation to Mom and James's 12th wedding anniversary party at an expensive hotel. 12 years, and this was the first time she reached out. I called Aunt Rebecca. Why now? I've heard James's business is struggling, she said. They've had to cut back. So that's why. I decided to go. Not for them. For me. I spent 2 weeks preparing a gift they'd never forget. A small black box with silver ribbon. Inside was a check for $100,000. Money I earned. Under it were legal papers showing my business revenue. Proof I'd succeeded. I wanted to give them one chance to see me as their daughter. To be proud. To apologize. If they failed, at least I tried. The hotel ballroom was beautiful. About 60 people in fancy clothes. I walked in wearing a simple black dress, carrying the box. People whispered, "Is that Grace's daughter?" I heard she barely survived. I kept walking until I saw Mom laughing with friends. When she saw me, her smile froze. She didn't hug me, just gave me a tiny nod. Tyler appeared with a drink. Look who showed up. I was invited, I said calmly. Mom felt sorry for you. We all know you can't afford anything decent. Smiled. Don't worry about me. I walked to the main table where Mom and James sat. The room went quiet. I placed the box on the table. Happy anniversary, Mom. She looked at it and laughed. Oh, look, everyone. My daughter actually came. That's a pretty box, someone said. Mom waved her hand. I'm sure it's thoughtful. Sarah never had money sense. James laughed. Remember those homemade candles she gave us? Smelled like burnt plastic. People laughed. Mom pushed the box aside. This is my daughter, everyone. Hasn't called in years. Couldn't make it in the real world. She's struggled so much. What's funny? Mom snapped. I'm just thinking how you have no idea what you just refused. I untied the ribbon. You want to know what's inside? Let me show everyone. Pulled out the check. Held it high. $100,000. That's what I was going to give you. Mom's face went pale. James's mouth fell open. Whispers exploded. Where did you get that? Mom's voice shook. I earned it. Running my own business. After you kicked me out with nothing. I pulled out the papers. This shows my company earnings. Last year, over $400,000. A woman gasped. People grabbed their phones. You're lying, Tyler shouted. Google it. Bennett Marketing Solutions. My company. An older woman, Mrs. Henderson, stood up. Grace, you told me your daughter was homeless. Mom couldn't speak. I never called her, I said. Not once in 12 years. She made it up. Mrs. Henderson shook her head. Grace, is this true? James grabbed Mom. Don't answer. Why not? Yes. I pulled out Dad's letter. This is what my dad wrote before he died. He knew Mom wouldn't take care of me. So he saved money secretly. I read out loud. My sweet Sarah girl. You are smart. You are strong. You are loved. Mrs. Henderson had tears in her eyes. The insurance money Mom got. Over $175,000. I never saw a penny. It went to this house. Tyler's college. Vacations. That's not true, Mom said. Yes it is, I said firmly. The room erupted in whispers. Mom's hands shook. Sarah, sweetheart, I'm sorry. Can we talk privately? No. You humiliated me publicly. She reached for the box. Please let me make this right. Pulled it back. You stopped being my mother when you chose him. We can start over, she begged. Closed the box. I brought this for someone who deserved it. You're not that person. James blocked the door. Let's talk like adults. I'm not interested. Tyler ran up. We're family. I can do whatever I want with my money. You taught me that. Mom was crying. Just give me one chance. I stopped at the door. You had chances. 18 years of chances. You chose yourself every time. When you're ready for respect, not what you can get from me, you know where to find me. I walked out. Daniel was waiting in the car. How do you feel? Free, I said. My phone started buzzing. 62 calls from Mom. 15 from James. Text messages flooding. Sarah, please. We need to talk. You can't do this. I turned my phone face down. Not tonight. Maybe not ever. Aunt Rebecca called the next day, laughing. Mrs. Henderson told everyone. Videos are online. Your website got thousands of visits. Over weeks I learned what happened. James's loan got rejected. Tyler's mom stopped his support money. None of this made me happy. But the truth was finally out. I answered one call from Mom. Foreclosure. I know I wasn't the mother you needed, she said. What specifically do you regret? Asked. Silence. Because it sounds like you regret getting caught. I was scared after your dad died, she whispered. So you made me unsafe instead. How do I fix this? I don't know if you can. But if you want a relationship, it has to be real. No manipulation. No lies. No asking for money. Okay, she said. Hung up. 6 months later, I gave the $100,000 to Aunt Rebecca. She cried. I can't accept this. You saved me when no one else would. This is yours. My business kept growing. Daniel and I got engaged. I built a new family. The one I chose. Mom calls once a month now. Short talks. Surface stuff. Whether they changed or just hide better, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I spent years waiting for Mom to love me right. But I was asking the wrong question. Not whether I was worth loving. Whether she was capable. Sometimes I write letters to my younger self. Dear Sarah, I know you're scared. You're not worthless. The people who should have protected you chose themselves. That's their failure. You're going to survive. Build something beautiful. Keep going. One day you'll stand tall and tell the truth. You'll understand their approval was never what you needed. You needed permission to believe in yourself. Dad gave you that. The sun comes up pink and gold. Dad was right. I flew high. Not because of money. 'Cause he taught me real love. Patient. Selfless. Unconditional. That's the inheritance that matters. I learned that from a man gone 17 years. I carry it every day. If you're in a situation where people make you feel small, you have the right to set boundaries. To walk away. The best revenge isn't fighting. It's succeeding. Building a life so beautiful their lies can't touch it. That $100,000. I donated it to charity helping kids who lost parents. Kids who need a chance. Revenge isn't making them suffer.